Did you know that more than a century after the Titanic sank, we are still discovering mysteries in the wreckage? Imagine being in the dark depths of the Atlantic, surrounded by the remains of the most famous ship in history. Now imagine finding objects that simply shouldn't be there, items that make even scientists question their presence. The Titanic didn't just sink, it took with it secrets that to this day we still can't fully explain. In this video, we'll explore 10 strange things that were found in the wreckage of the Titanic, and I promise you that what we reveal could change the way you view this tragedy. Get ready to dive into the unknown. When we think of the Titanic, we immediately imagine early 20th century European opulence. But among the rubble, a small statue of Buddha was found, completely preserved. Now the curious thing is, why was something so linked to the East on board a predominantly Western ship? There were no records of East Asian passengers with an obvious connection to this artifact, which makes historians speculate that this statue could be a good luck charm or gift. Another theory suggests that it could have been brought as a collector's item. The Titanic was, after all, the most luxurious ship of its time, and wealthy passengers often carried exotic and expensive pieces with them. Now this is truly bizarre. During one of the expeditions, sunglasses were found that, at first glance, seemed ordinary. But upon examining them more closely, experts noticed something peculiar. The design was very advanced for the time of 1912. We are talking about a format that only became popular decades later, which raises several questions. Were these glasses a design coincidence, or something darker, as some conspiracy theory fans suggest? Could it be that something else happened on the Titanic that night that we still don't fully understand? This item is so symbolic that it gives you goosebumps. The violin of Wallace Hartley, leader of the Titanic band, was found among the wreckage, almost intact. For those who don't know this story, Hartley and his band played until the last moment, while the ship sank. They played religious hymns and songs to calm the panicked passengers, knowing they would not survive. The violin, recovered in near-perfect condition, has become a symbol of bravery and sacrifice, a silent testament to the horror and humanity that coexisted on that fateful night. Today it is a historical relic, but also a reminder of how fragile we are in the face of the relentless power of nature. Among the personal objects found, a pocket watch caught a lot of attention. He was standing still at exactly 2:20 a.m., the exact moment the Titanic sank. The watch belonged to a first-class passenger and was recovered among his belongings. More than a simple item of value, this watch is a time capsule, forever freezing the moment when more than 1,500 lives were lost. Imagine the emotional impact of holding in your hands an object that witnessed the last breath of so many people. In the depths of the Titanic, a completely sealed iron safe was found. To this day, no one has managed to open it. The reason? The fear that any attempt to pry open the safe could destroy what is inside. This vault has become a legend among researchers, fueling speculation about what it could contain. Could it be a fortune in cash and jewelry? Or perhaps documents of great importance, capable of revealing secrets about the behind-the-scenes of the ship and its passengers? Many believe the safe may contain something that could help us better understand the events of that night. During one of the exploration missions in the wreckage, something very peculiar was observed on the ship's internal walls. Deep and long scratches that appear to have been made with metal. The first theory is that these scratches were caused by the ship's own movement as it sank, scraping against the iceberg or surrounding debris. However, the positioning and depth of the marks do not correspond to normal damage. This made some wonder, could there have been something else on board or someone trying to escape? So far, there is no definitive explanation for these enigmatic marks. Finding a diary amidst the rubble is already rare, but finding a diary whose pages remained readable is almost unbelievable. This diary belonged to a young passenger who documented her days on board with enthusiasm, without imagining what would happen. His last notes talk about the luxurious dinner and the celebratory atmosphere on the ship. What is most surprising is that the ink somehow survived the depths of the ocean, allowing its story to be told more than 100 years later. And now we come to something truly strange. An African tribal mask was found among the wreckage, with no record of how it got there. The most curious thing is that there were no passengers of African origin on board who had registered this type of item. The mask, intricately carved and enigmatic, raises several questions. Was it smuggled, or was it part of an art collection? Some theories suggest that this mask could have some spiritual significance, and that its presence on the Titanic is more than just a coincidence. Among the most moving items recovered from the wreckage are a series of wedding photographs. They belong to several passengers who were on board, a reminder of the love stories interrupted by the tragedy. However, what makes these photos even stranger is that some of them don't match anyone on the official passenger list. Who were these people? Were they on board clandestinely, or perhaps traveling under a false identity? This mystery still intrigues historians. Finally, perhaps the most curious item is a bottle of champagne with the seal of the British royal family. The most impressive, it has never been opened and still contains the liquid inside, perfectly preserved. This champagne, reserved for the elite, was found in the ruins of the Titanic as a reminder of a celebration that never happened. This bottle symbolizes the luxury and grandeur that the Titanic represented, but also the tragic fate that awaited its passengers. With each new discovery, the Titanic reveals more of its secrets, showing us that this tragedy goes far beyond the history books. Each of these items has its own story, a fragment of lives cut short and dreams shattered. But at the same time, they remind us that the past can still surprise and intrigue us. If you like this video and want to continue exploring fascinating mysteries and discoveries, don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel. This helps us continue to bring you amazing content. And before you go, there's one more video appearing on your screen right now that I know you'll love. See you there.